In this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to add some gravity to our player, and then we're also going to prevent our player from falling through things. So first of all, let's add gravity. So the way I'm going to create gravity is, first of all, I'm going to create a variable. So in game.js at the very top, I'm going to go let gravity equals 0.3, because I have done some experiments in my game and I think 0.3 is a reasonably good value for gravity. Okay, so now we need to apply that gravity to our player. So we're going to add that at the top of check input. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to get our player.velocity.y is going to equal our player.velocity.y plus whatever gravity is. Because that's what gravity is. It's just increases the speed at which something falls down. So if we run this now, refresh, our player falls. Run that again. Player falls down, but you see that it doesn't go through the bottom because it collides with the world bounds. However, it does fall through the ground, which is a bit of a problem. So we need to do something about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some tests to see if we're hitting the ground. So let create a variable touching ground equal is in contact with the player on the layer that is the ground. So this just will return true or false if the player is touching the layer that is known as the ground, if it's in contact. Okay. So after we've moved horizontally, we're now going to deal with vertical movement. And we're going to apply a break to the player. Player break. That's going to be the player touching ground. So if the player is touching the ground, we're going to break them. We're going to stop them moving vertically. So let's just run that. And there we go. Our player now stops when they're hitting the ground, but they don't stop when they're hitting the water. So, and because of that, there's a little bug, but that's okay. So what are we going to do now? Our next step is to be able to jump. So what is jumping exactly? Well, jumping is just speeding up vertically. Okay. So for jumping, first of all we need to get a key input. If key is down. Now 32 is the key number for the spacebar. What we need to do is increase our vertical velocity. So in this instance, because the numbers are flipped, we need to set our vertical velocity to negative. So player.velocity.y equals -5. And now we can jump. If we're hitting key 32, which is spacebar, set our player's vertical velocity, which is y, to -5, which moves it up the screen. So let's see how that looks. So now I fall, and I can jump. And I can jump pretty high. But I can just keep on jumping. I can jump in the air and all over the place. So there needs to be some way of testing whether I am actually on the ground. And if I'm touching the ground, then I will allow my player to jump. And how can I do that? Well, I got this thing called touching ground, right? So what I really want to know is if my key is down and I'm touching the ground and the ground is below me. So I'm going to add another condition to this. So if key is down, spacebar, and touching ground dot below. And now when I run, I'm hitting the spacebar, but I can only jump when I'm actually on some type of ground. My double jump ability has gone. And I made that a little bit high. So I can't get up there. But that's okay. And now you can see that I can actually walk behind the things in the foreground. So I can conceal my player. In our next tutorial, we're going to extend our range of player movement, and we're going to start to be able to climb ladders.